Have you ever been to Detroit? Have you ever been to Cleveland?
Ohio.
St. Louis? What cities you been to, Misty? Atlanta, Jacksonville, what else? Milwaukee. Would you say, Jack and Misty, would you say that it's just, those same cities y'all been to is just like Chicago? Cursed? They're not cursed?
They're not mentioned like.
But you visit there, you went. But look, when I go to any city in the state, United States of America, it's the same as Chicago.
That's right.
You see nothing but gang banging.
Right.
You see nothing but drugs being sold.
Right.
You see a lot of violence.
Right.
You see the neighborhoods just look trash all over the place.
That's right.
And guess what? You see the white man ruling everybody.
That's right.
You see the Arabs ruling everybody.
Right.
You see the Chinese man ruling everybody.
That's right.
You understand? The blacks and Hispanics, no matter what city we're in, is a cursed city.
That's right.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
How you doing, sir?
He want to know his nationality.
Cool. How you doing, bro? What's your name?
Jack.
Who?
Jack.
My name is Hosea. These my brothers, man.
I know that.
Hey, say hello to Jack, y'all.
What's up?
All right. Hey, Jack, man, we out here trying to have a family affair. You know what I'm saying? This is family business here. You know, when family act up, we got to go out and bring some correction. You understand? What's your name, sis? Who? What's your name? Misty. So Jack, Misty, y'all brothers and sisters. So look, what's your nationality? Yeah. Black. What's your nationality, Misty? Black? Okay. So, when was the last time you got on an airplane and flew to another country? What about you, Misty? Have you ever got on a plane and flew to another country or to another state, maybe?
Like 4 years ago to
Jamaica? Okay. So, do me a favor. Can you pull up a map of the world on your phone? I want you to look up the country black. Look up the country black. Because if I go ask a Chinese man where he come from, he gonna tell me China. I could go on the map and find China. If I talk to an Arab man, he's gonna say, hey, I'm from Arabia. Or I'm from Afghanistan. I could go on the map and find those two countries. But I can't go on the map and find the land black at all.
Wake him up.
That's black. Look at your skin. Two totally different skin tones. Don't you agree? The reason why I asked that because we don't know. We was told that we were black. You was fed that lie. This is why we don't know who we are. In 1619, we went on cargo slave ships. Through the transatlantic slave trade, over 250 years, close to 300 years of us going through this, they took our nationality. Misty, where you going? Okay. They took our nationality from us. What's your last name, Misty? Coleman. What about you, Jack?
It's Jack.
Jack?
It's my last name.
That's your last name? Okay. Would you say that's the name of a white man?
Jack?
Yeah. Because during slavery, they gave our forefathers and foremothers the name of the slave master. The slave master took our name and said, hey, look, you know what? Your name is now Jackson. Your name is now Harris. Whatever plantation that the slave master owned, if his last name was Harris, the slaves became his name.
That's right.
So ultimately, we became their nationality too. We're not African Americans. Jesse Jackson came up with that term in 1986.
Right.
You look way older than 1986, sir.
That's right.
I'm older than 1986. I was born in 78. So what was I in 78?
Wake him up.
So what we try to do is we try to provoke thought into our people. Because one of the we kill each other because we don't know that we are the greatest people on earth.
That's right.
So give me that in Deuteronomy. Let me show you what happened. Let me give you a timeline. Give me that in Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. You got children? Misty, what about you? You got 4 children. How old? What is the oldest? What is the youngest? 17 and 4. So your 17-year-old, I'm going to deal with boy or girl?
All girls.
All girls, okay. All praises. So you got some young princesses to raise up. Good. So look, if your child being 12, you told her, look, I want you to go to school, get good grades. When you come home, I need you to wash the dishes and make sure the living room, dining room is clean up, your room is clean up, make sure your brothers and sisters are fed. Right? What is that called? When you tell them that? Chores. What is another word that we could use for chores? What about rules? Rules, right? So you give your children rules that they gotta go by. Now, if she does exactly what you say, Misty, do you give her a reward for it?
Sometimes.
Sometimes you just say, good job, right? What if she doesn't do it? What happens?
I yell.
You yell? What if she continue on doing the same thing that you told her not to do?
I take something away.
You take something away from her? Okay. What about spankings? Do you do that?
I try not to.
But you've done it before.
Yes.
But it depends on the severity of the punishment, right?
Yes.
Whatever she did. Maybe she cussed you out or something. So now that provoked you to bring the belt out and whoop her. So the reason why I wanted to bring that out is because this is what God is saying about his children.
Bring it out.
So read that in Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. Listen, real close.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15.
Bring it out.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So the Bible is our manuscripts. Our forefathers wrote this book. They wrote this book in a way that only we can understand. You know, when you with your buddies, you be like, man, shawty, she look bad as hell. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of people, when they hear that, they may think you're talking about a short person. And that their behavior is not right. But me and you know that you're only saying that this woman looks good. So we speak in a dialect or in a tone that we can understand. So this Bible is the same way. It's written in a way only we can understand.
That's right.
As the nation of Israel, we speak a certain way.
Right. That's right.
And that's how you know that we wrote this Bible.
That's right.
So read it again.
But it shall come to pass.
God is saying, look, it's going to happen in the past or in the future. It's going to come to pass. We don't.
If thou wilt not hearken
Hearken means to hear. So if you don't listen to what I'm telling you, my son or my daughter,
unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments.
so to observe to do all his commands, he's saying, look, you better pay close attention to what I'm saying to you, young man. What's your oldest daughter's name? Malady? Madison. So Madison, you better listen to what I'm telling you, girl. Because if you don't listen to what I'm saying, read on.
And his statutes, which I command thee this day,
I'm commanding you this day, Madison.
that all these curses.
What is the curse? Is that good or bad? It's bad. So all these curses, what?
All these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So God is telling his children, if you don't listen to me, bad things is going to come on you and they're going to overtake thee. So I want to read out of our manuscripts some of these curses, and I want to know if you agree with them. Give me that in verse 16.
Verse 16.
Curse is a bad thing, right? So read it again.
Curse shall thou be in the city.
What city are we in right now? Huh? We in the city of Chicago, in the state of Illinois, right? Have you ever been to Detroit? Have you ever been to Cleveland?
Ohio.
St. Louis? What cities you been to, Misty? Atlanta. Jacksonville. What else? Milwaukee. Would you say, Jack and Misty, would you say that it's just, those same cities y'all been to is just like Chicago? Cursed? They're not cursed?
They're not mentioned like.
But you visit there, you went. But look, when I go to any city in the state, United States of America, it's the same in Chicago.
That's right.
You see nothing but gang banging.
Right.
You see nothing but drugs being sold.
Right.
You see a lot of violence.
Right.
You see the neighborhoods just look trash all over the place.
That's right.
And guess what? You see the white man ruling everybody.
That's right.
You see the Arabs ruling everybody.
Right.
You see the Chinese man ruling everybody.
That's right.
You understand? The blacks and Hispanics, no matter what city we're in, is a cursed city.
That's right.
God said that he was going to do that to his disobedient children. You understand? So give me verse 48, 46.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
So when it says they, it's talking about these curses. These curses is going to be upon you for a sign. So look, how do we know where we're at right now? How do I know what street I'm on? Reading the sign, right? So the sign is an identification marker. God said that these curses were going to be a sign to let you know that you are the children of Israel.
That's right.
So these curses that you can read about in the book that we wrote, our forefathers wrote, you will be able to identify that you're not an African American. You will be able to identify that you're not black, but you will be able to identify that you are from the nation of Israel.
That's right.
How you doing, bro? We going over nationality. What's your name? What's your nationality, Matthew? Half Ecuadorian and half Puerto Rican. So you from the Northern Kingdom. Okay, all praise to the Most High. So finish reading verse 46. Listen up, Matthew.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
These curses were going to be upon the children of Israel for a sign. Read on.
And for a wonder.
And it was going to be for a wonder. It was going to be like, man, why is it that we created pretty much every invention in the United States, but we don't get no residual income?
That's right. That's right. Bring it out.
Look at the traffic system.
Right.
We created that.
That's right. That's right.
We created that. Look at the car. We created that.
That's right.
The radio that they're playing down there. We created that.
That's right.
When you turn on the light switch, we made it so it could be light.
That's right.
But we don't get no residual income from any of those things. Our oppressors take credit for all of that.
Right.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. Because look, these young men, they need you to wake up. They need to see an old head out here doing what's right.
That's right.
Don't go nowhere, bro, because the men, we have to wake up.
That's right.
Read it again.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
It's going to be upon us forever, our children. So no matter how many times we populate this earth, this curse is going to be on all of us.
That's right.
Read verse 48.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Listen, read it again.
Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger.
Missed it. When you want something to eat, where you got to go? God said you're going to have to serve your enemies for hunger.
Bring it out.
When you want something to eat, where you got to go?
To God. See?
Huh?
To God.
To God? So go to God right now and get something to eat. You can't. You're not going to be able to go to God and get nothing to eat.
Right.
But what you are going to do, you're going to go to Jewel's. You're going to go to a corner store.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I see you, bro. You're going to do all of these things that you don't own. Actually, your slave master owns all of these things.
That's right.
God calls them your enemies. He said you're going to do what?
Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger,
You got to serve your enemies for food,
and in thirst,
for water,
and in nakedness,
for clothing.
and in want of all things.
That means everything, sis. If you want to get an education, you
Right.
got to go to your enemies for that.
Right.
Guess what, sis? If you want toilet paper, you got to go to your enemies for that.
That's right.
If you want to go visit Ecuador, guess what? You have to go get what is called a passport or a green card to go visit your homeland.
That's right. Bring it out.
You got to go to your enemies just to get permission to go
Bring it
home.
out.
That lets you know that we are the children of Israel.
That's right.
You understand? These curses are a sign to let you know. So the name African American was given to you by your slave master as a curse. The name Ecuadorian or Puerto Rican was given to you by your slave master as a curse because of your disobedience.
Bring it out.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in